What is up, YouTube? McIntyre here, bringing you a new video. Today we're going to be discussing the new Zeratul. It's been a while since the Zeratul change has gone through. I had an original blog post, which I'll put in the description of this video below. Just my first takes on the character, and a lot of, I think, my first kind of, I don't know, what I thought the character would be like or wrong. And I wanted to make a video today talking about where I'm at with the hero now, the build that I like on him, and kind of how to use the build to its fullest. I finally have a pretty good game too. A lot of the times with videos and new characters, as Blaze is another one that I have yet to upload a game for. I've been having a hard time uploading games that just seem, you know, not good, right? If I have a game of Zeratul where I just absolutely smash the other team and I don't do anything that cool, you know, what's the point of uploading that? I want you guys to see errors that I make. I also want you guys to see cool things happen. So I look for videos and gameplays that kind of bring all those to the top. And today with this game, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a fun game for me to play, and I think it's also a fun game to watch. But yeah, so we're jumping into it now. I'm going to try not to pause as much as possible. But the very first talent we're going to take on Zeratul is going to be Shadowhunter. I'll have the whole build in the description below if you just want to click on that right now and go check out the build on heroescert.com. But yeah, so level 1 Shadowhunter. And the reason for this talent is the CDR on Blink is just disgusting. For several reasons. One, obviously it allows you to blink more often, but every time you blink, you crit with your level 10 talent Nerazim. So blinking is extra damage, right? And blinking more often is more damage. It also allows you, to get a second crit with Wormhole, which is a talent that you're going to be taking at level 7. This is a funny little situation here. I remember this happening in game. For whatever reason, this guy follows me all over the map. And I was saying to myself, why is this guy following me? And then this happened. Wait for it. I see him slam, so I start hitting, but like 3 autos, a passive, and a hook later, and I've like traded half my health away. And a slam too. So get on the stitches, but in reality I shouldn't really be in the solo lane. What I want to be doing as Zeratul early game because of the Shadowhunter quest. So if you guys didn't know what it does, essentially after you collect 15 globes, you get basically a battle momentum, a 1-second battle momentum on every auto attack for your blink. So it's really powerful in the later stages of the game. It allows you to blink more often. It allows you to blink aggressively, and you can see here, Murden makes a good call to go aggressive on the Uther. And in that case, a lot of the time, you do typically hold on to your blink, because when you blink in Azera, you've kind of opened the gates to get engaged on. But if you have someone aggressively diving the enemy team, and this is a thing that Zeratul is really good at, you can dive aggressively with them as well. And he's also very good at controlling the early stages of the game. As you can see here, we got to kill bottom. I'm going to do the same thing here. Top, blink over. I typically like to get my first auto on the hero before I bomb. And the reason for that is just that if the bomb misses, then I can Vorpal. But a lot of the times when I blink, I try my best to get an auto attack before I try to cast bomb. You don't have to. It's not necessary. But it's just something that will help in the long run. Because a lot of the time, too, is you'll typically blink. Oh, this was a good rotation by them. So I blinked to body block here. And this, I assumed, maybe we could kill this guy. But this is Q-build Uther. So he's much better at dueling. I might have been able to live, in all honesty, if I went up. I tried to just stand still. Try to stand still, get full stealth. Maybe I should have gone right here. He W'd down this way. So if I go here and then stand still, I might live. But yeah, so that's a good example of blinking aggressively and getting punished for it, right? I blinked there aggressively and their team collapsed and I wasn't able to escape. But going back to the topic of critting autoing before you bomb. Essentially, when you blink, you get your first auto, which is typically a crit anyways once you hit level 10. And then you want to bomb, land your bomb, activate your Vorpal, and that's going to be a second crit into a Q, and that's your last crit, right? So there's your 3 crits on your engage. At 4, we're going to be taking Psionic Strength. This is just so good. The more you punch people, the more damage you do. Just a really powerful talent, honestly. And you'll see this talent kind of come to fruition in the later stages of the game. But essentially, when you start dueling people with your 16s and your 13, especially your 13, the lifesteal talent, it's just insane how strong this guy can be. As long as you know, like I said, stagger your crits and kind of think about when you're using your spells and if you're getting certain crits. So here, you know, this is I'll pause super quick. So this was one of those situations where my Meridian's playing aggressive. I could blink, right? But because I don't end up actually killing myself because it's not a good look. So that's the thing about Zeratul, and really just a big thing that you need to be able to do on him. Ooh, look at that triple globe on one wave. Tasty. One thing you really need to be able to do with him is assess the situation and say to yourself, if I blink in and I kill this person, am I dead afterwards, right? You need to be able to read cooldowns. You need to be aware of what's happening. Here we end up finding the Zagar there that was doing the camp. Thank you. But yeah, you need to really be able to assess the situation. You know, assess how much damage you can deal, right? If I blink in, am I going to kill this person, or, you know, are they going to live, right? Yeah, so these are the things you need to be thinking about. All right, so now at level 7, we got Wormhole. And at first I didn't like this talent, but the more I play with it, the more I've realized that 3 seconds to blink back is insanely long. And it gives you a lot of quiet time. A lot of one-on-one time with the enemy Zagara, if you play it right. At first, too, I was saying to myself, like, oh, well, if I Wormhole in, then, you know, then they'll just follow me out. But, oh, so close to finding that guy. I was saying to myself, you know, if I Wormhole in, then they'll just follow me on my back on my Wormhole. But what I've started to get better about doing is blinking and then using your R to blink to further your blink. At first, I wasn't doing this enough, but essentially it gives you 3 seconds, like I said, to punch the person, to kind of land your skills, to follow up maybe on the Murden that's diving, and then blink to complete safety, right? So you'll see me try to do that this game. And again, I've still been practicing this Wormhole build. I was using Seeker probably, I don't know, for the past few months since the changes happened. I've only started switching to this Wormhole build, I would say, about a week ago. So yeah, so I'm still learning. I'm still kind of adapting to the playstyle. But like here, I totally could have, if I wanted to, blink onto the Vala, punch her, and then blink out. The thing is I'm not 10, so at this point, you know, I kind of probably trade down. And the other thing on top of that is I didn't know where their team was, so if Uther was like here, and yeah, I would have died. All right, so we hit 10. So here we go, power spike time. I mean, in all honesty, this is when your character becomes a hero. Actually, I take it back. When you hit 10 and then you get your quest done, then you become a hero. So here you'll see I'm going to start trying to... Here's a double blink. But you'll see now that I've got the crit, and this is just something that you kind of learn just from... Ooh, D-Storm. This is something you learn just from Combo Slash before, right? You know, I'm definitely going to try to work as many autos in between all my skills as possible. I think I end up dying here for this guy. I can't remember. No. Yeah, don't commit there. But yeah, so now we have quest online. We have our 10 talent. So I definitely could have Wormhole back in. I still had blink up. Again, that's the other thing about the battle momentum on blink. So you'll start to see this as well. Now when you double blink in and you start punching someone, right, you're decreasing the cooldown on your blink. And then when you reactivate it to Wormhole back, you have like a good little window where you can Vorpal back to them, punch them probably like one more time, and your blink will be off cooldown. Then you can blink away again, right? So it kind of allows you to blink twice almost in a rotation instead of, you know, just blinking in, or like, you know, with a Seeker build a lot of the time you try to bomb, and the problem with that build is then when you bomb in, you know, you still have blink out, but your bomb's not as guaranteed. You know, then you're holding your blink. So here, you know, like I aggressively blink into that guy, right? Like with the Seeker build, you can't really make that happen, right? You kind of have more control over, I guess you could say, like your engage or the target you're hitting, right? And so that's why I've started to like wormhole a lot more because of that. I found myself a lot of the time in team fights, especially with Seeker build, you know, if you miss bomb, then you just kind of stand around and don't do anything. With this build, you at least, you know, you can't really miss your blink auto, and even if you do, you know, you'll probably get like a Q off or something, right? So we use our R here to blink, and then we have another blink. I actually baited him to think that I had no more blinks, so like that just goes to show you how many blinks you can actually have as well. All right, but now we've hit, like, in my opinion, the truest. So 10 is like when you can really start killing people on Zeratul, but I think at 13 is when you're at like your truest form of like very difficult to deal with because of your heal at 13. Oh, this is a pretty cool juke right here. Watch this. So I hit that minion, wormhole back. Then I use my Vorpal from that minion that I punched to come back up here. All right, now I battle them into my blink back. Okay, so they think I'm going this way. I cut this way into the stitches and then cut back this way down to my team. So like that right there in itself, like I remember when that happened, I was like, man, Zeratul with this wormhole is sick. Like just at that moment, and that's the reason I was like, I need to make a Zeratul video, is right then and there, I was like, dude, this character has so much mobility. You can do so many cool things. So my team's, I goof here. Today I learned if you punch Chromie and she ice blocks, it cleanses your Vorpal, so that's kind of frustrating. So I just wanted to space and go for the Vorpal there. Here's like a full combo. I committed there too. But there's like a good full like 14v14 on a Zagara. Hit all your abilities. How much damage you can deal sort of thing. And here's here's like the first example I think of the game of a double blink. So this guy's really weak, right? I actually battle momentum. I could live here. For some reason, I want to swag. I think the minions are tanking, so I go back in. I totally could have lived there, right? But yeah, that's a good example of like the double blink Vorpal back in sort of combo that you can do on Zera, right? And you guys also saw, you know, the battle momentum on the blink, right? I was allowed to blink out after I had gotten the double kill. I should have lived. I don't know. I was just trying to be too. I was feeling myself too hard at this point in the game, to be quite honest. I think after that top juke, I was like, oh, dude, I can do so many cool things with this character. Like blink back into their base and try to 5v1. Did not turn out well for me though. And so we're 28-12. All right, so now we hit 16, and 16 is honestly it's an argument as to what talent's right or wrong. I think they're really, in my opinion, they're all pretty good. I'd say Seeker is probably the weakest of the three, but there is still merit in Seeker because if you're, let's say, a one-shot comp, you know, and you're wormholing on top of somebody, you're bombing, you're critting them, and then you're hitting Q, right? In some cases, if you're not double blinking, you can add an additional Q into that rotation. Seeker's pretty good just for like upfront burst damage. But Void Slash is really good when you have clump teams like this, like teams that clump and play as a 5-man, because then when you double blink in and Q, you get like juicy Qs. Like your Qs will just rip through the enemy team. I don't know what this guy was doing here. So yeah, it's really hard to say what's right or wrong at this talent tier. And then you have Master Warblade too, which, you know, in 1v1s, that third crit, if you crit it, like if you crit the third hit with like a spell, it's so good. All right, so here we go. This is, I'm just gonna pause now. This is Zeratul right here, all right? Yeah, I mean, how many heroes can do that? And how many heroes can do... This was the best part, too. In my head, I'm saying to myself, okay, Uther and Stitches are both up. And I can dodge Uther W, but I did not calc that he had Holy Shock. Lol. Overall, though, like, yeah, 2v1ing 2 ranged heroes. And this was, again, a lot of that I think had to do with the fact that I had the Sonic Strength going. Oh, I ended up goofing here though. We could have like not won the game, but we would have been in a pretty good spot if I hadn't have died there. Nonetheless, the most important things to take from that is the fact that when you blink and punch, okay, you can wormhole back and then vorpal back, and you get a second crit on blink. And when you're in the 1v1s and stuff like that, I think, in my opinion, it's super important to use your vorpal essentially as an additional crit, right? It's more important than it is, you know, especially if they don't have an escape. If they have an escape, then it's a different story. You know, if it's possible for them to get away, then I wouldn't do that. Like a false stat or something like that, right? Then I wouldn't vorpal. I would just blink. Stay on them. You don't even have to wormhole back at that point, right? But, you know, in a 1v1 especially, you should definitely utilize that second crit. So they go to 6 Kappas. I remember this game gets pretty scary. To think that we just went from picking Zagara and me 2v1ing to now we're down XP. We're still tower shots ahead. But we just, at this point in this game, our team's just super staggering. The other thing you can do is, like, when you're pushing, or like if you're sieging a tower, you can blink too to get an additional crit as well. As long as, like, when you blink to push, you don't like get ganked and then you die, right? Don't do that. But oh, this is so funny. I remember I hit that time trap. I was like, okay. I was like, I'll go push this now. And I was like, oh, never mind. They're beginning to push out mid. Boom. Time trap number 2. But this is also a good example of, like, Towers of Doom. Even when your back's to the wall, like, don't panic. Just don't panic. Assess what you need to do to win. Don't panic. Here's a full damage rotation. Yeah, so that's what a full damage rotation looks like. That was every one of my abilities with the 20 reset. I mean, obviously my team was hitting the Stitches as well, but that's what, like, the full rotation looks like. And one thing to keep in mind as well, when you do a full damage rotation like that, you get a blink reset on top of your rewind. I mean, on top of your wormhole. So while your wormhole is still activatable mid reset, I'm going to try to explain this in English because I'm having a hard time of saying it. Essentially, you cast your blink, okay? Now you can reactivate for wormhole, okay? If you cast your Q, you cast your bomb, and then you reset on your R, right? You're going to cast the Q or the bomb again. That's going to reset all of your cooldowns, right? So then you'll have your Q, you'll have your bomb, and underneath your wormhole activation, so you have that 3 seconds still, right? If you hit wormhole in the 3 seconds, you'll blink back to where you were. You can then vorpal back to them, and you will have a second blink ready to go because it resets underneath that wormhole reactivation. So that's something a lot of people didn't know. I didn't even know that, honestly. I always thought it was kind of crappy. I was like, why would I want to use everything here? But yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, if you want to double blink too, it kind of sucks. Like here, you can see I double blink, and then now I still have my blink back up. The only thing that sucks about double blinking like that is you lose like your Q and your W second cooldown. But sometimes it's better. Sometimes it's better to like just get on the person and double blink than to go for the full damage rotation. Oh, I thought they were over here. Lol. I could have like killed so many people there. So one quick thing about the 16-20, the 16 and this 20 together, we'll pause super quick, is if you get a double Q crit on reset and then you Q twice, like I'll blink in. What I'll do if I want to just cleave the whole enemy team, right? They're super clumped and we're post 20. I'll blink, do like my bomb Q, okay? I usually bomb first then Q. That's just how my brain works. And then I get a second Q, right, on this, and then it resets everything. If you Q again, oh my, it's so much damage. It is, you'll do like 3,000 damage AoE. So look for that. Look for those opportunities. So here Chromie's dead, and like I just want to stagger. Like this right here is driving me mad. The one thing I need to be careful of is the Uther. I need to be careful of Uther D-Storm, right? That's what I was playing around there. I can't really go in if Uther has D-Storm. So now that he's used it though, you see here that Cleave. And we just end up cleaning. I mean, yeah, the Zagar kind of put their team out there. But yeah, if you get that double cleave on like 2 ranged assassins or something and you're quick about it, oh, it's so much damage. In reality, like as much as getting auto attacks in is important, in the later stages of the game when you get this reset ability, just make sure, like literally just make sure that you land your spells like that. See here again, like when he ice blocks, it cleanses my Vorpal. That's so annoying. Yeah, but like just make sure essentially that your Qs and your bombs hit in the later stages. Auto attacking is important, don't get me wrong. You should always be looking to weave in autos, but like you move so quick in the later stages of the game that like getting in the autos and like weaving in crits between like the cast of 10 abilities, it's just not possible, right? It's much better and more efficient to blink, you know, Q bomb, bomb, reset, Q bomb, wormhole, Vorpal, blink, right? I don't know. There's so much going on here. I'm talking about it. I realize the insanity of it, but hopefully you've seen a few things from this game that kind of open your eyes to Zeratul. Maybe the were tricks that you didn't ever think about. One last little nugget that I didn't talk about here, but since you watched this whole video, you'll get it. If you punch a person or a minion, okay, you get the Vorpal on them. But if you punch a wall or a building, it does not take the Vorpal off, okay? So what does this mean? This essentially means that, let's say you punch somebody and then you want to decrease your blink before you go back after them. You can punch a wall or a keep. This really only happens when, you know, let's say this situation is you're pushing a fort, okay? And then the person's behind the other end of the fort and he's throwing stuff at you, okay? You can double blink, start punching him, okay? Vorpal back. You can punch the keep or the fort 2 more times. Then activate your Vorpal, so you blink back to him, and now your blink should be basically 1 auto off, right? So you don't lose that tag on a person or a minion if you punch a wall or a building. So that's another cool little thing that is nice and like relevant now that battle momentum is a thing on Zeratul. I think before this level 1 ability, it didn't matter, but now that it's there, it does. So cool little tip. But that's going to be it for today's video. If you guys enjoyed, please make sure to throw a like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm pretty close, if not already, to 10K subs. It would be super sick to start off the year with 10K subs and see where we can take it from here. I appreciate all of you guys' support. I'm going to continue the A to Z series. I've basically been gone for like a month. I was away for holiday. I was away for hero stuff. I was away for vacation. I just had so much stuff planned essentially during the off season. So I didn't really have a lot of time to play heroes, but now that the off season's over, all my time is back to being dedicated to playing heroes again for the season. So I'm back now. If you guys want to follow me more, check me out on Twitch and Twitter. Those are going to be in the description, as well as my Heroes Hearth page where you can find tier list, builds, and blog posts. But that's going to be it for today's video, guys. Appreciate you all so much, and until the next time, I'll see you then. Cheers.